Deception unveiled. Captain Maya Chen stared at the holographic display, her dark eyes narrowed with suspicion. The emergency briefing room aboard the UES Vigilant hummed with tension as her intelligence team studied the data streams flowing across their screens. Something was wrong with the reports coming from the border sectors, and Maya's instincts, honed through 15 years in Earth Fleet intelligence, were screaming at her. "Play it again, Liam," she ordered, and her communications specialist nodded, rewinding the footage. The recording showed an Axaran battle cruiser firing on a human research station. The explosion bloomed across space in silent, terrible beauty. Supposedly, this unprovoked attack 3 days ago had pushed humanity and the Axaran Empire to the brink of their first interstellar war. "Stop," Maya commanded as the footage reached the 18-second mark. "Enhance grid section E4." The image zoomed in on a portion of the research station just before impact. "There," she pointed at a barely perceptible flicker in the station's outline. "That distortion pattern doesn't match Axaran weapons signatures." Lieutenant Commander Kai Rodriguez, her tactical analyst, leaned forward. "Could be compression artifacts in the recording. Or it could be evidence that someone doctored this footage," Maya replied. "Liam, have you finished the signal analysis?" Liam Chen, no relation despite sharing her surname, nodded emphatically. His fingers danced across his console. "That's what I've been trying to tell you, Captain. The transmission metadata doesn't match standard Axaran communications protocols. It's close, but it's like someone copied their signature and made small mistakes." Admiral Wallace's announcement echoed through every ship and station in Earth territory just hours ago. "This unprovoked attack by the Axaran Empire cannot stand. As of 800 hours, Earth Fleet is moving to Defense Condition 2. All border units are to prepare for possible engagement." Maya had been uneasy from the moment she saw the footage. The Axarans were proud, territorial, and cautious, but they were not stupid. An attack on a research station offered no tactical advantage and risked a war with humanity when they were already dealing with internal unrest. "Captain," called Dr. Sanjay Mehta, their xenopsychology specialist, "I've been reviewing recent diplomatic transmissions from the Axaran High Command." His normally calm voice trembled with excitement. "They're claiming that we attacked their colony on Vega Prime 2 days ago." "What?" Maya spun toward him. "That's absurd. We haven't had ships in that sector for months." "They have footage too," Sanjay said, forwarding the transmission to the main display. The new recording showed Earth Fleet destroyers bombarding an Axaran settlement. Buildings collapsed as precision strikes hit key infrastructure. The footage looked genuine, except Maya knew with absolute certainty that no such attack had been ordered. "Two false flag operations," she murmured. "Someone wants this war badly." "But who?" asked Elena Petrov, her second in command. "And why?" Maya's mind raced through possibilities. Someone who benefits from having the two strongest powers in this arm of the galaxy weakened or distracted. She made a decision. "Liam, establish a secure channel to Admiral Wallace. Kai, I want every frame of both recordings analyzed for inconsistencies. Elena, compile all intelligence on unusual activity in neutral territories over the past 6 months. Sanjay, reach out to your Axaran contacts. Unofficially." "Captain," Elena hesitated. "If we're right, and someone is pushing both sides toward war, they won't appreciate us uncovering the truth." "Exactly," Maya nodded grimly. "So we work fast and carefully." Maya's requested meeting with Admiral Wallace was denied. Instead, she received orders to join the defensive line forming at the Arcturus boundary. War preparations were accelerating. 48 hours later, Maya stood in the Vigilant's secure communications room with her core team, reviewing what they'd discovered. "The evidence is conclusive," Kai announced, displaying his findings. "Both recordings were manipulated. The energy signatures don't match known weapons systems from either side. And there's this." He highlighted a section of code embedded in the transmission data. "This is a marker we've never seen before. It's sophisticated, designed to authenticate the transmission while hiding its true origin. Liam leaned forward. I cross-referenced it with every known communication signature in our database. Nothing matches, but I found traces of similar markers in routine transmissions between our outposts and Axaran territories going back 3 months. Someone's been testing the system, Maya concluded, learning how to mimic our communications well enough to fool both sides. Elena added her report. I've identified unusual ship movements in the Veil Nebula. Unregistered vessels using advanced cloaking technology. They appear briefly on long-range scans before disappearing. The Veil Nebula, Maya repeated thoughtfully. That's a navigational nightmare. Perfect hiding place. Captain, Sanjay interrupted, his face pale as he hurried into the room. I just heard from my contact in the Axaran diplomatic corps. They're mobilizing their main battle fleet, full war footing. The room fell silent. They had perhaps 72 hours before the first shots of a real war would be fired. We need proof that neither side is responsible for these attacks, Maya said finally. And we need to know who is. I might have something, Elena said quietly. She activated her datapad and displayed a star chart. 3 of the unregistered ship sightings converged at these coordinates before disappearing. She pointed to a location deep in the Veil Nebula. There's nothing on official charts, but someone's hiding there, Maya finished. She made her decision. Plot a course to those coordinates, maximum stealth. If we can find concrete evidence, maybe we can stop this war before it starts. Captain, Kai warned, those orders would directly contradict our assignment to the defensive line. Maya's expression hardened. I'm aware, Commander. Anyone who wants to officially register an objection may do so now. She looked at each of them in turn. No one spoke. Then set course for the Veil Nebula. And send a message to Admiral Wallace. Delayed delivery, 12 hours. Include everything we've found so far. The Vigilant slipped away from the forming battle line, its advanced stealth systems masking its departure as it headed toward the Veil Nebula, and the truth hidden within. The journey took 18 tense hours. Maya barely slept, reviewing their findings and preparing for whatever they might discover. As they approached the coordinates, the Vigilant's sensors struggled against the nebula's interference. Multiple structures detected, reported Kai from his station. Configuration unknown. Not Axaran or human design. On the view screen, shadowy forms emerged from the swirling gases of the nebula. A space station unlike any Maya had seen before, organic curves blending with geometric precision, surrounded by smaller structures and vessels. Life signs? Maya asked. Confirmed, Kai replied. Various species, some human readings, some Axaran, and others I can't identify. Captain, Liam's voice was urgent. We're being scanned. Advanced system, cutting right through our stealth field. Before Maya could respond, a massive energy surge erupted from the station. The Vigilant shuddered as an immobilization field locked onto the ship. All systems failing, Elena reported calmly, though her knuckles were white on the console edge. Propulsion offline. Weapons offline. A transmission cut through their communications blackout. On the main screen appeared a figure with silvery skin and 4 gleaming eyes arranged in a diamond pattern around a narrow face. Earth vessel, the being spoke in flawless standard. Your interference is unfortunate, but not unexpected. Humanity's curiosity was accounted for in our calculations. Who are you? Maya demanded. And why are you trying to start a war between humans and Axarans? The alien's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. I am Merrill, speaker for the collective. As for why, the alien tilted its head. Evolution requires pressure, competition. The stronger species emerges from conflict. You're experimenting on us, Maya realized with dawning horror. Both our species. Guiding your development, Merrill corrected. The galaxy has rules, Captain Chen. New species must prove themselves worthy of expansion. Maya's blood ran cold. By fighting unnecessary wars. By demonstrating superiority, Merrill replied. Your ship will be held here until hostilities have progressed sufficiently. Your absence from the conflict will not change the outcome. The transmission ended abruptly. Options. Maya asked her team. Sanjay spoke first. The collective. I've heard whispers about them in cynoanthropology circles. They're supposed to be a myth, an ancient species that tests emerging civilizations. Well, they're no myth, Maya replied grimly. And they've decided that either humanity or the Axarans need to be eliminated. Or both, Alina added quietly. Maya stared at the alien station through the view screen. They underestimate us. Liam, can you get any transmission out of this field? The communications specialist frowned in concentration. Maybe. They're blocking standard channels, but there might be a way to piggyback on their own scanning frequencies. Do it, Maya ordered. And everyone else, find me a way to break free. If we can't prevent this war alone, maybe we can find allies who will help. Truth and reconciliation. For 3 days, the Vigilant remained trapped in the immobilization field, while Maya and her crew worked tirelessly to find a way out. The collective had made one critical mistake. They'd left the ship's internal systems operational, assuming the humans would simply wait for their fate. They didn't know humanity very well. Got it, Liam announced on the 3rd day, his face haggard from lack of sleep, but his eyes bright with triumph. I've modified our quantum entanglement communicator to transmit through their field. It's piggybacking on their own sensor suites. Range? Maya asked. Limited, maybe 1 light hour, but it should be enough to reach any ships in the nebula. Excellent. Now we just need someone to talk to. Maya turned to Sanjay. What's the status of those Axaran communication protocols? The xenopsychologist rubbed his bloodshot eyes. I've reconstructed what I believe is their emergency diplomatic channel. If there are any Axaran vessels nearby investigating as we did, they might pick it up. Maya nodded. Send this message on repeat. The war is a deception. We have evidence. The collective is responsible. Meanwhile, Kai and Elena had been studying the immobilization field. There's a pattern to it, Elena explained, displaying a complex mathematical model. The field pulses at regular intervals, microsecond fluctuations, but they're there. Kai continued, if we time it perfectly, we might be able to fire a concentrated burst from our maneuvering thrusters during one of these pulses. Not enough to break free entirely, but enough to drift, Maya finished, understanding immediately. Good work. Coordinate with engineering and be ready on my command. 12 hours later, their patience was rewarded. The communication system crackled to life. Human vessel, came a rasping voice, speaking careful standard. This is Commander Thrax of the Axaran scout ship Relentless Inquiry. We received your transmission. Explain this deception. Maya felt a surge of hope. Commander Thrax, I'm Captain Maya Chen. We've discovered that the collective has manipulated both our peoples with false flag attacks. Our nations are about to go to war based on lies. There was a long pause before the Axaran commander responded. We have observed anomalies as well. Our leaders dismissed our concerns. As did mine. Maya acknowledged. We have proof, detailed analysis of the falsified attack footage. But we're trapped in an immobilization field by the collective station. Another pause. We see your position. The station has not detected us yet. What do you propose, human? An alliance, Maya said without hesitation. Help us escape, and together we can expose the collective before this war begins. 20 minutes later, the Relentless Inquiry, a sleek, predatory vessel with distinctive swept-back wings, decloaked 3,000 kilometers from the Vigilant. The Axaran ship immediately fired a precisely calculated electromagnetic pulse at a specific point in the immobilization field. Now, Maya ordered. Kai triggered the maneuvering thrusters during the millisecond fluctuation in the field. The Vigilant shuddered, then began to move, slowly at first, then with increasing speed as they broke free. They've detected us, Liam reported as alarms blared from the station. Multiple vessels launching. Maximum thrust, Maya commanded. Rendezvous with the Axaren ship. The two vessels fled deeper into the nebula, using the dense gas clouds to mask their signatures while the collective's ships pursued. They found temporary shelter in a particularly dense pocket of ionized gas. Commander Thrax appeared on the view screen, a reptilian humanoid with iridescent scales and vertical slit pupils. The pursuit vessels will find us soon. We must coordinate. Maya nodded. We need to get our evidence to both our governments immediately. But more importantly, we need to understand why the collective is doing this. I might have part of that answer, Sanjay said, stepping forward. While we were captive, I analyzed the data we gathered about their station. The collective isn't just observing our conflict. They're harvesting data. The immobilization field was also scanning our ship down to the molecular level. Thrax hissed softly. The same occurred when they briefly captured one of our scout ships last month. We believed it was simple intelligence gathering. Alina's eyes widened. It's not just a test, it's harvesting. They want our technology, our biology, our cognitive patterns. A species that doesn't evolve on their own anymore, Maya realized. They force others to war, then collect the innovations that conflict produces. And the winner, Kai added grimly, probably becomes their new prey in a few generations. Commander Thrax's scales rippled, an Axaren expression of disgust. This is forbidden by all galactic conventions. Such parasitism violates the natural order. Then let's stop them, Maya said, a plan forming in her mind. Not just escape. Let's expose them to the entire galaxy. Over the next few hours, the human and Axaren crews worked together, combining their technologies and expertise. They modified the Vigilance quantum entanglement communicator with Axaren encryption algorithms, creating a system that could break through the collective's jamming. This will broadcast on all frequencies across both our territories, Liam explained. Every ship, every station, every planet will receive the evidence simultaneously. But the collective will try to stop the transmission, Thrax warned. Their technology is formidable. Maya smiled thinly. That's why we're going to give them something else to worry about. The plan was audacious. While the relentless inquiry would create a diversion, drawing away the collective's defenders, the Vigilant would approach the station from the opposite vector, using a combination of human stealth technology and Axaren sensor jamming. We'll only have one chance, Maya told her crew as they prepared. If we fail, both our species could be at war within hours. The operation began precisely on schedule. The Axaren vessel emerged from the nebula firing a dazzling array of weapons, not at the station itself, but at the sensor arrays surrounding it. Alarms blared as the collective's defense ships moved to intercept. On the opposite side, the Vigilant slipped closer to the massive station, undetected. In position, Kai reported. Ready for transmission. Maya took a deep breath. Broadcast everything. Full spectrum. The quantum entanglement communicator hummed to life, transmitting their evidence across human and Axaren space simultaneously. The doctored footage, the analysis proving manipulation, the collective's own transmissions they'd intercepted, and images of the station itself. They've detected us. The Lina shouted as the station turned its weapons toward the Vigilant. But it was too late. The transmission was already propagating across both territories, impossible to contain. On thousands of ships and hundreds of worlds, military leaders and civilians alike were seeing the truth. The collective station fired, the energy beam slicing through space toward the Vigilant. Evasive maneuvers, Maya ordered, but she knew they couldn't outrun the blast. At the last second, the relentless inquiry swept between them, taking the brunt of the attack on its reinforced shields. The Axaren vessel shuddered but held together. Your evidence is valuable to both our peoples. Commander Thrax's voice came through, distorted by damage. We will ensure you escape to tell the tale. Before Maya could respond, the relentless inquiry surged forward, ramming directly into the station's main weapon array. The explosion was blinding, damaging the station and creating a shockwave that pushed the Vigilant clear. "Get us out of here," Maya ordered quietly. "Maximum speed." As they fled the nebula, communications began pouring in from Earth Fleet Command. The transmission had reached them, and the Axaran High Command as well. Both sides were standing down from war footing, redirecting their forces toward the Veil Nebula instead. 3 weeks later, Maya stood in the Grand Assembly Hall of the newly established Joint Defense Council, the first formal alliance between humans and Axarans in history. Admiral Wallace and the Axaran High Marshal Tukrel signed the agreement while representatives from 12 other species observed. The collective has operated in shadows for millennia. Admiral Wallace addressed the assembly, using the same tactics to manipulate emerging species into destructive conflicts, then harvesting the technological and biological innovations born from those wars. High Marshal Tukrel stepped forward, her scales gleaming under the ceremonial lights. But they did not account for something unique among our two peoples: the capacity to question, to investigate, and to choose cooperation over conflict when presented with the truth. Maya watched from the sidelines, her crew beside her. The Joint Defense Force was already preparing expeditions to locate other collective stations throughout the galaxy, to free other species from their manipulations. "The war was a lie," Elena murmured beside her, "but it led to something true." Maya nodded. "They wanted to test our strength through conflict. Instead, they discovered our strength lies in refusing to be manipulated. Because in the end, the greatest weapon wasn't advanced technology or military might. It was the courage to seek truth and the wisdom to recognize that supposed enemies could become the strongest of allies." The collective had failed to account for humanity's most powerful trait: our stubborn refusal to play by anyone else's rules. And now, together with the Axarans, they would show the galaxy a better way forward. The final war wasn't against aliens, it was for the truth. And truth, as humans had always known, was the most powerful force in the universe.